Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Lorinda Buckingham with the Modern Executive Podcast. And I just want to welcome everyone for joining in. We have a great show today, and I'm looking forward to being able to talk. We have Dr. Rosche Brown with us, who is a doctor of rethinking. And we just have a great show that is just lined up for everyone here. And I just want to make sure that everyone is tuned in and ready to go. So if you are seeing this live right now, I want you to just go ahead and give us a couple thumbs up or give us some hearts so we can know that you're watching, know that everything is there. Oh, I see people looking in now. Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? And it just looks good to see that everyone is here online, ready to go. And as I mentioned before, this podcast here is for contemporary leaders who are looking to grow in their leadership, in their business, in their career, and also in their lives. Because so many times it's very difficult for us to find resources that help us to have that home work-life balance. So this is your ultimate one-stop shop for contemporary leaders. So thank you so much for tuning in. There are so many different podcasts that you can subscribe to and listen to on a regular basis. So the fact that you decided to listen to this one, tune into this one, I just want to say thank you so much and welcome. Also, I want to give thank you for our sponsors, for people who make this possible, people who make donations. So those who donate help us to get this message out of leadership empowerment to people all over. We have people who subscribe to the podcast, not only in the United States, but also internationally, which goes into our vision of globally empowering leaders to empower leadership in others. So if you're out there right now, you want to join in the movement, I encourage you to click the link to become a patron to help us to continue out to help people with the message of leadership. Also, I wanted to make sure that we gave a shout out for our upcoming events. So we have the Modern Executive Leadership Success Group, which is held once a month in Fayetteville, Georgia at the Hampton Inn. And that is held once a month for local people in the area. Even if you're not from Fayetteville, you could come drive on down, have some good food, and learn about leadership empowerment. Also, we have new classes and workshops that are coming up, so I encourage everyone to stay connected and subscribe to our newsletter so that way you can know what's going on. And so before we get started, I just want to make sure that everyone knows to connect with us on social media. So make sure you connect with us on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. So every time we have something new, be the first to know. So again, welcome. And we have here a really, really special guest. I am so happy because you guys know that we're talking about finances. We're talking about taxes. We're talking about love. We're talking about a lot of things in the month of February. So I couldn't think of a better person than to have Dr. Rosche Brown come on here. And she is tuned in all the way from California, right?
Yes, California.
So what part of California are you currently in?
Bay Area.
The Bay Area. The Bay Area. Yes. So we are here, and so we are all the way on the West Coast with the Bay Area in California. So if you are from the Bay Area, I want you guys to kind of give us a couple thumbs up. If you're tuning in and you're from the Bay Area, if you're from the West Coast, give us some love and show Rosche some love here. Because whenever we tune in and we subscribe and we're telling other people that this is something that we want others to hear. And Dr. Rosche, I'm going to let you go ahead and just introduce yourself to the listeners because I can go on and on about you. So I want you, I want to give you the opportunity to share with them and just tell them a little bit about who you are and a little bit about what you do. And then we'll just kind of take it from there because I have some questions to ask you from some of the listeners. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and get started.
All right. So thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Glad you have it here.
This is so awesome. So let me tell you who I am. So of course I'm Dr. Rosche Brown. My business name is Doctor of Rethinking because I help people to remix their thinking so they can have a new way of living. And I do that in two different ways. So I have Rethinking Self, and that is me. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. And so that's me working, doing therapy and coaching for people. And mental health membership site is all about rethinking self. And then I have this other section where we're going to talk about on tonight, which is rethinking money.
Whoa,
Yes,
rethinking
rethinking
money.
money. Just helping people to remix your thinking about their money. I realized that having both a psychology and being a financial coach together really just made sense, because there's definitely a psychology to the way that people save
Yes,
and
yes.
spend their money, you know?
Absolutely. I'm sitting up here now. People are already, I am listening to people. They're like, yes, talk about money.
Yes.
They are like, talk about money. Yes, I need to rethink my money. So we're gonna
Yes.
go ahead.
Rethink it.
So tell us a little bit more about what is rethinking money. So what exactly, I know you said, being a psychologist and then also being a financial coach. So can you kind of explain a little bit about the psychology part? What exactly was your specialty in psychology? And then let us know a little bit about what it means to be a financial coach. Is that a financial advisor, or is that a financial planner? Like, what exactly is a financial coach?
Okay, yes. So as a psychologist, I'm a clinical psychologist. So I work with people. I've worked with the gamut of people. I mean, I've worked from younger kids from age of 6 all the way until like a lot older, in their 50s. So different times in my lives, different times in my life, I worked in different places. My specialty would mostly be integrating spirituality and mental health, and being more so like a help to like Christians and church. A lot of times people want to go to Jesus, but they like got some little extra stuff going on. So you got to like also come to a therapist as well.
Right.
That's that part. But on the financial coaching side, so the reason why I say coach, right? Because I'm helping you through that time, right? I might have to yell at you a little bit like a coach, a real good coach, gonna get in there, make sure you can make some changes. But it is like I help you with financial planning. I help people in understanding what are your financial goals. Awesome. A lot of times people don't even have financial goals. I look, of course, at their money in, their money out, and then I help them to figure out solutions for their money problems. I have a couple of solutions that I'm able to do directly. So I help people with getting life insurance, because protection is so important, as well as I help people with getting like rollovers and retirement planning and annuities that are also very important. But then I definitely connect people. I'm a financial connector. So I connect people with credit repair if that's something that people need, right? I connect them with getting a living trust, right? Which is also a part of the financial steps that are important.
Yes.
Telling people about different apps and different tools or whatever may be needed for their business in order to, work with their businesses and manage their books within that. I can offer this is a good CPA, a good tax person, things that you should ask them. So I have all of those things that I'm coming together with those people with.
Awesome. So then it's like you're a one-stop shop.
Yes, exactly.
You're a one-stop shop. So for people who are just now tuning in, I am talking with Dr. Rosche Brown, the doctor of rethinking, and she's here sharing with us tools and tips about how we can start rethinking our money. And so as she just shared, she's worked as a clinical psychologist, so she's worked professionally in that field, and then now she's helping people start getting a better grip on their mind as it relates to their money. And so who else can do something like that but someone who also has some experience in working with the human mind and working with people and how to get people to think things differently about money. But I think what is unique about what you said is that in that financial coach umbrella, you're also saying that you're helping people with their planning, you're helping them to get better understanding. And then also you're saying if you need assistance, that you also refer to other people and do those things as well. And so, and I think the thing is that, what you can share with us is what are some of the top things that you see when someone comes in that needs to have their money rethought about? Like, what are some of the key things that some of the listeners or people who may be viewing that they can look and say, oh, wait a minute, hold on, is that something I need? So what is it that they will see in their life?
Well, I mean, I start with the basics, right? And
okay.
So,
that's always good to start with the basics, because it's like some maybe people want to go so far and instead of sticking to the basics.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go like there's some basics and then I call some advanced things as well. But I start with the basics. So I believe financial literacy is really like the area. You need to be educated about these things, right?
Absolutely.
And so I teach people, I teach, sometimes I'm reminding, if I'm not teaching, about proper money management, right? That's like the first basic level, right? Don't spend more money than you make. manage your debt, understand what credit is all about. Have emergency fund, because you never know. There's what ifs that happen in life. But when you're prepared for the what ifs don't hurt as much when they happen, right?
Exactly.
And then setting financial goals, right? We have dreams. Everybody has dreams to have houses and have college funds and retire at 55 and all that kind of stuff, right? Even early, everybody's always like, I want to retire tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. Like, can we retire? Can we stop right now and just retire?
Yes, right now. Everybody want to retire right now. But what does that really look like? What is that? How much money does that look like for you to retire, to no longer be making income? Where is your income going to be coming from? Right. And do you have enough? And a lot of people don't have enough. And so I kind of start with that basic aspect. Then I explain to them kind of like what the timeline of life looks like, and what should happen over your timeline of life. A lot of times people don't understand that over time, you're supposed to increase assets. You're supposed to be in a position that you're going to, have savings, have a home, have some investments. And then over the course of your life, you're supposed to be decreasing your liabilities. So you no longer have those, right?
Yes.
And that's what we hope for, right? That's what everybody hopes for, is their picture by the time retirement hits. But I sit down with so many people from different age groups. I love when young people are like down to hear this information and make different changes. But, unfortunately, I'm always with people who are close to retirement with a little bit of time to make some of those improvements. And so they have to make, a lot more improvements faster. I tell people the wealth formula is time plus money equals wealth.
Right? I need to put that up there so people can see that one.
Time plus money equals wealth. Right. And so what does that mean? If you have a whole lot of time on your side, you're younger, you can have less money to make it to a wealthy place.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. But vice versa, if you don't have as much time on your side, you need to get a litlittle bit more money in order to get to a wealthy place.
So we might have some people here that are, because like millennials are pretty much like the 20-year-olds. Gen Xers are maybe like your 30s, early 40s. So really, when you say young, you're looking at the millennials that are probably in their 20s. And if they could start now, if they're listening and they can start now, then that's something that they could do to help build up assets. But even some people who may be in their 30s and 40s that may have been working a while, or maybe they weren't as serious in their 20s. Because how many of you know sometimes in our 20s, we're not really as focused. Maybe some people in their 20s is like, oh, we're just going to do that over again. We're just not going to worry about that.
Right, exactly.
So, in their 30s and people in their 40s, and they say, okay, now I want to get serious about getting a trust. I want to get serious about financial coaching. I want to get serious about my future. It's not too late for them to go ahead and get started. And actually, they can build wealth for their families. Is it correct?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's never too late to get started, right? Like, I have a common quote that says, you don't have to be great to get started, but guess what? You do have to start if you want to be good.
Right? Exactly. Absolutely.
So I'm all about people at least getting started somewhere, right? You have to get somewhere, somewhere, but that means we might have a different type of plan if you're starting a little bit later in life, right? We may have to increase your cash flow in a different way. You may need to have an additional stream of income that can help you get to your retirement goals, right? So you may have to put some work in a little bit more in order to get there. That's all it is, but you definitely can get started.
Awesome. And I think one of the things that we could get from some of the listeners that are out there is that, when you are planning, even if you're doing it early or if it's late, later on in life, it's never too late.
Never.
So even if it's later on in life, it's never too late. So that means people could get involved, they could get started and do what it is that they desire to do with regards to their business, their careers, and the different things that they desire to want to work on. Correct?
Exactly.
And I think like the biggest thing with you is that with the Doctor of Rethinking is that that sets you apart a little bit. And because there's a lot of financial coaches and a lot of financial planners, and there's a lot of people. So someone might be looking like, okay, why would I want to contact her? But I believe that the rethinking part and understanding how you think about money is very important. And so if you could share a little bit about, what are some ways that we could start to rethink money, or why is it so important that we rethink money?
Yes. I mean, so I often tell people that, we have certain type of patterns based on
Yeah.
like, either education, exposure, or experience, right?
Wow. I need to put that up. Hold on one second.
Yes.
We have to say that one more time.
So,
Say
based
that
on
again. You said education,
our exposure, and our experience.
exposure, and experience. Okay,
Right.
because some people like to listen to this and take notes.
Yes,
So
yes. So education, exposure, experience. I mean, a lot of times, we haven't been educated on proper money management, what to do with our finances.
awesome.
Exposure, right? Like, well, let's look at exposure. A lot of times people around us never modeled good habits. So
You better say that again. Like just modeling habits from what other people have done. Absolutely.
that's how do you ever change anything? I mean, just think about those of you that are out there that are going to be listening to this. If you guys start thinking like, who taught you about money? I like people that like kind of go back into it and say, who taught you directly or indirectly about money?
Exactly.
They may not even specifically said nothing, but they sat there and, showed you what to do. Maybe even what does it mean when you only get paid once a month, right?
Right.
And you feel like you're broke the rest of the month. You were almost taught, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
How to have that as a pattern, and so we live kind of used to like having and then having a lot, having a lot and then like, having nothing, right? And I tell people it's possible to have money every day. It's possible to put your hands on money every single day. But you have to have the right type of education. You need to, get exposed to the possibilities. There's other cultures that are out there that from baby, they're taught to save. Their parents are putting saving plans together. They're taught priorities, understanding a need versus a want, right? They're taught a lot of those things. And sometimes within our community, we're not taught those things. So we never know how to even put them into practice for ourselves. Right. And so it's just like all these things I get an understanding of my client. Every time I'm talking to them, I'm trying to figure out like about their learnings. I'm asking about their memories about money. I ask them, how do they have their money set up? Something very, very simple thing that people do often. A lot of times people take their first paycheck, and they actually will spend it on all their big bills.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. The first of the month, they get their first check.
First check. That's usually your rent, your mortgage,
the mortgage, the car note. Exactly.
Then what it does is it creates like a deprivation. I feel deprived, waiting on my second check. So then when my second check comes, I squander it. I just, and that doesn't help me balance my life enough. So I always tell people, like, if you have like a bill account, then you're able to have a portion of your first check go into that bill account. Second, check go into that bill account. This keeps your life in a more financial balance. So you don't you never feel off and on with, I got money, I don't have money. I'm broke, I'm not broke. You don't want to feel that way all the time.
Right, exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest things too, because even when you talk about, that exposure, I think that exposure is even just related to just social economics in terms of, where people can go, because it could be across, multiple generations and races, religions, genders, and different things like. Because if someone has never been exposed to how to deal with money or how to properly save, then the cycle continues over and over and over again. But I think that the way that you approach it in terms of thinking, I think that just brings another unique perspective to it, because the way people think about money is the way they'll handle money. Because I know one of the things that I saw, I'll talk about something I saw. Everybody who's listening, how about mad money?
Yes.
You're mad, and all of a sudden you want to just go splurge on something. Don't do it. So now that is what, $40, $50, $100 or even more. That is put aside, is not counted, is not getting any type of it's not getting any interest, is not growing. There's nothing positive that's happening as a result of that mad money being there. But we'll have mad money.
Yes. I'm not, because I don't like to live from the deprivation model, like you have to cut back and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that people should have, like, I call it fun money. You know, because mad money is like you crazy, you're not thinking through it.
Right, that's, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, I tell people this is my budgeting technique that I like people to set their money aside. I call it the 10 10 10 70 rule.
Okay, let me put that up there.
Yeah, so 10 10 10 70.
Gotcha.
And so the first 10%, you know, I'm you know, I'm all about my Jesus. That's my daddy. You know what I'm saying? He told me to tithe. I'm going to do it. I live in abundance. I live the tithe principle, and therefore I see it as truth within my life. It may not be something for, you know, everybody, but I know it works, right? Because it's happened. It works for me. So I believe even if you're not giving 10% to God or church, find donation, because I believe that abundance happens when we're being appreciative of the money we have and we're willing to give. Therefore, we'll be more blessed to get more. So 10% should always be giving in some type of way. Another 10% should be giving to you, right? So you give to others and then give to you. So 10% should be going into savings, at least 10%, right? The average American only saves 1%.
Wow.
Right. And average, meaning that, you know, what we know about that, some people are above that and some people are below.
Now you said the second one was 10% given to yourself, right?
Yes, 10% to yourself. So 10% savings.
Gotcha.
And so you have to give something to yourself. And I will give your listeners, I mean, your listeners gonna love this. I wish I was an affiliate of this particular company. I've been telling people about it. I learned about this company maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a bank. But the bank is, so you can go ahead and put this in, because I want y'all to see.
Okay, I'll put this in too.
This is one of the better savings accounts that I have seen. It's from Synchrony Bank. So SYNCHRONY Bank.
Got it.
Synchrony is like amazing to me, because Synchrony is a high interest savings account that you're able to get. They give you 2.2% in interest, with no minimum needed in that account. That is huge. That is huge. A lot of times before you're able to get 2% or even 3% in certain accounts, you need to have a minimum of like $10,000 in that account before they start giving you higher interest. They have no minimum. So if you're starting you just hearing this, you feel inspired and you're like, okay, I need to be saving. Get yourself a Synchrony account, put $50 in it. You know, add a $50 every month, maybe every paycheck.
That is awesome.
Good. And 2%, that stuff will add up. I mean, it's like, I mean, you had $10,000 in the account, you put that in a Synchrony account, you're making like $20 a month on it, compared to putting that same money at like a Bank of America or a Chase or something like that and only making 2 cents on it. It's huge. It's huge.
And the thing is that when it sits in the bank, that 2 cent, what is that 2 cent really doing?
It's nothing. You might as well put it under your mattress. Okay. Put it under your mattress, because it's doing you no service. Right? It's like it's giving you not good.
It's doing nothing. So Synchrony Bank is actually a better choice. At least you get 2% of what it is that you are actually investing in and putting in, and then it has no minimums. So I mean, even that's just gold.
You're not locking your money up like a CD, and so no lockup either.
So it's no lockup, nothing at all. So, I mean, that is an awesome tip. And for people who are tuning in, this is an amazing show because we are here with Dr. Rosche Brown, who is the doctor of rethinking, and we're talking about rethinking money. And so as we think about money, even starting off small, starting off with just $50 in the bank account, starting off with your savings, and just thinking about money differently. And I think that just having that type of accountability, and I think in your programs, you offer a level of accountability to people from what I can hear. And then also they have ways to get access to that. Can you elaborate a little bit more as far as if there's a way? Because I know some people like, okay, I feel you. I understand you, Dr. Rosche, but I need a little help. Because that pattern has been going on for so long. So what is it that you can help some people out there that's listening right now that may just need a little bit more help?
Yes. So let me rewind real quick, and I'm gonna get back to it because I forgot to tell the third 10. The other 10% is that fun money. It's so like 10% to giving, 10% to yourself, and then budget out your fund. We don't budget out our fund. So we dip into our 70, which is supposed to be all of our expenses and everything, because we just don't budget our fund. So I feel like if you had 10%, you want to call it fun money, mad money, do whatever you like with that money, because now I've done my job. I saved, I gave, my expenses is paid. Now let me go. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I like that. You said you save, you gave, my expenses are paid. Now it's time to go.
I realized I was finding y'all.
Hey, you gotta make sure you put that on there on your website. You saved, you gave, your expenses are paid. Now it's time to have fun. And I got this up. If people are actually watching this live, I'm gonna put this up here. And then the 70% is for your expenses, correct? Okay.
Yeah, for your expenses.
So I have it up here. So again, 10% is giving, 10% is to yourself, 10% for fun money, and 70% for your expenses. And I believe that that is a great way to get started in that, and just giving to yourself. Because I know, like, if you don't pay yourself, sometimes you could feel as though you're missing out, or it doesn't feel as good because, like, I've just worked and worked and worked. I used to tell my husband, I was like, look, I just need to at least buy a T-shirt, some lip gloss.
Where's the money?
My husband was the type of person where, he was comfortable paying all the bills down to the letter. I'm like, look, spend a little something. Right. A little something. So I know that when you are working with people, there's some people that's listening right now, and they may be in relationships, they have couples, significant others, and different things like that. So do you recommend that they come in together, or do you have any type of tools on how people, or tips on how people who are in relationships, how they could work together in their finance? Because that is not always that easy.
I mean, at one point I definitely would get myself like a little book I wanted to create a book about what type of spender are you, right? Like, we have different love languages and all of that kind of stuff, and it helps to know each other's love language. You need to understand each other's spending habits, and, like, are you a spender? Are you a saver? Who are you, right?
Exactly.
And so I think that, now that's something, I don't have my book yet about that,
right.
If there's enough demand for it, I'll put it down and I'll make it happen. But when it comes down to couples, I do like to see them together. It's extremely important that they hear the same information. I am a professor at heart. I've always been teaching. And so I love this education that I'm doing. And I know how to look at somebody and see, like, hey, you're not understanding this part, and I will, like, let me spend a little bit more time for this person, because we all are different types of learners, right?
Correct.
And so I'm going to make sure, like, hey, maybe I need to draw a picture for you to really capture this. Maybe help you understand it and put a story behind it, and help you understand what can really happen, to maybe build a level of urgency and priority inside of one partner that is not inside the other, right? So it's really important for them to come together. Oftentimes because this does happen, where one partner will come in and the other partner doesn't come in.
Yes.
It becomes very difficult for me to express the level of importance about whatever topic I was talking to the other one, of getting a solution. Even something as simple as life insurance. You would think that both people would be like, we both need life insurance, right? Because the reality is that if one spouse passes away, the other spouse is going to be left with having to replace that person's income.
Correct.
So I be with people who got young children, and they live in a 2-income household, and one party doesn't have a policy. And, sometimes people will feel, let's say, like a wife or whatever, like, oh, I did my part. I'm paying for my policy. But baby, if something happened to him, you still, you got a policy, but you can't use it.
Exactly.
You're doing better paying for his policy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It don't protect you. His policy protects you, not your actual policy protects you.
Exactly.
So it's important.
And that's a good point right there, because it's really if the other person. So you want to make sure that other person, in case something happened to them, you got to take care of.
I'm telling you. So I'm just like, people don't know, but they don't know how to think of it correctly, right?
Mm-hmm,
exactly. That's why I'm there to kind of like interrupt your pattern or what. And even I'm listening, I'm like, how do you think about this, right? Are you thinking about it the right way? oh wait, no, maybe getting yourself, like, I'm just thinking about policies right now because in my spirit right now, $20,000, $30,000 policy, is that going to really do anything? Like, you know, you're not going to be able to pay your mortgage if something happens to that partner with only $30,000 policy.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Not be able to, so you have to understand, what is the life insurance for? Is it so I can bury him, or is it to replace the income that I'm going to be losing because they're no longer there? Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point, Dr. Rosche, because the thing is, you're looking at what that person will lose if the other person is not there. Yes. And if they're going to replace the income. And I think sometimes people only think about, if they even think about, it's just the funeral.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, just to cover it, if they even think that far ahead. And so you want to make sure that it's there. And even though we have people who have insurance and they sell insurance, it's still so many people who don't have insurance and do not have the proper.
And they don't understand it. They don't see it as a priority for their lives. And since they don't, like, you know, it's a priority maybe to have like a huge birthday party for your child. But then something happens to you, and I'm being so serious. Like, I've seen this stuff happen. I've been doing this, you know, for actually now 3 years, and I've seen and heard stories of people not want to put in priority. Somebody I'm calling and they don't want to respond back, and I'm doing follow-up calls and everything, you know. And in my mind, it's like, well, I'm not really doing this for me. I'm protected,
right?
I'm doing this for you because I really care about you and I understand this. And I'm sorry that you don't see the priority right now, but I'm like, this is a huge thing. You got babies who are under 18. You know
exactly.
What I mean? You got a wife or a husband or whatever who makes less money than you. So when you're gone, what is going to happen? And only in 1 year of income ain't gonna be enough. They make 6 figures, and you all of a sudden 6 figures is gone out of your house. Just imagine that.
Right, exactly.
When people have a divorce, you know what I mean? Let alone somebody passing away, you know, or even having a medical illness of some sort. Like, you know, there's newer policies out here, y'all. If you get cancer, heart attack, stroke, you can take that money. So y'all get the right type of stuff. Replace it if you need to.
Exactly. So, and I think that's very fundamental. Like, you can use it to replace the income. Yes. You can use it so that you have a peace of mind for yourself. But I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize, Dr. Rosche, is that also you can use those policies as a way to build wealth for your family.
Yes.
Really your family. And I think life insurance is one of the biggest ways that people transfer wealth to the next generation. Yes. And they are able to give their children a better life. They're able to give the people left behind them a better life and give them the opportunity to start over. Can you talk a little bit about just the wealth transfer that happens with when you're talking about people with rethinking their life insurance and how that affects them?
Yeah. So, it's definitely a legacy builder, right? And so that puts somebody at a different level. I mean, just imagine if you today were, for whatever reason it was, came into an extra $100,000. Would that not change your life? Would that not put you from, oh, I'm trying to get a house, but I just can't financially make it there, to now being able to have a home? Right. Exactly. You know, like it changes the game. And so that, don't you want to love your kids enough that you're going to give them that type of gift? Yes. It says, like, even while I'm gone, I still got you. Right.
Wow. That's really good.
You know what I mean? A huge thing. I always tell any parent, if you have a policy and stuff like that, you don't have to talk about death. I was just talking to a client earlier today. But I do, the baby only 11, she a baby, but I was like, tell her, hey, you know, I put some things in place because mama love you so much, no matter what. You know what I mean? No matter what, I love you. If I'm not here, mama love you. I'm gonna put stuff in place for you. You know what
exactly,
I mean? So
exactly.
You need to keep on educating and sharing these things, because a lot of people in our community keep things secret versus sharing information with our kids. And that's how they learn to do it for their kids, right? So we have to make sure we're sharing. So that's one level. But another thing is that life insurance actually has the ability right now for you to be building wealth in it. So there are different types of policies that have savings accounts in them, called the cash value type of policies. And those savings accounts often can be accounts that will outpace inflation, giving you more than 3 to 4% of interest. in there. They have the ability when you take the money from that, this is very important. Just think about taxes. We're in a tax season in the moment now. When you take money out of that policy, you don't get taxed on that policy, right?
Okay,
so you can actually build within there and have a tax-free retirement, right? There's a good book. I can't remember this guy's name right now in this moment.
That sounds good.
The book is called The Tax-Free Retirement. And it's like, I'm self-employed. So my life insurance policy actually creates a retirement fund for me that actually pays me out a certain amount per year, and people don't know that that's even possible within their policies. So it's extremely important. I mean, even if you guys hit me up, I can definitely give you my link to the YouTube. It's an unlisted link. So I don't like everybody in the public, but if I'm in communication with you, I definitely will, send you the link. And I have my actual policy, and I'm showing how this policy builds wealth inside of it. Inside of it for me right now, like life insurance is not about when you're gone. You can get stuff from it right now. And especially within the millennials, Gen Xers, that kind of all of that. That's the way that we're going to have to really retire nowadays, because there's no pensions out here like that. Like their Social Security ain't gonna be much.
We don't even want to count it. We see it, but we just kind of just put that as a silent partner.
So that's the way that you were going to build wealth for yourself and build the right retirement for yourself. And it doesn't have to cost that much,
Exactly.
So just, you got to get in there. That's why I tell people about even stock market. So we explain like life insurance. There's different life insurance policies now that follow the trend of the market, but don't have the downside of the market. So when the market dips, your money doesn't dip.
Wow.
Now that's huge. It's called the index concept. And you want to understand that, because your 401k, guess where it is? Inside of the stock market, right? Your IRA, oftentimes are in the stock market. Your pension is even in the stock market, right? And the thing is that if the market goes down, your money's going to go down with it. And that's what happened when we had 0809 crisis.
Right. Yes, that was something.
401ks were like cut. It was a 39% drop, y'all.
39%.
Wow. We know what 40% sale is. We get juiced off of it. What if you lost 40% of your money?
40% of your money, that would not be something to be happy about.
Not at all.
Now, if we have people who are excited about connecting with you, they want to know more. And so what exactly, do you have a website or something that they can connect to so that they can, start thinking about how they can rethink money? Because there's some people out there right now, they're like, what you done told me how to save my money, and maybe I'm not doing it. Maybe I need to have a coach. Maybe I need to have some help to rethink my way I'm thinking about money. So how would they get in contact with you?
So on my website, drofrethinking.com.
drofrethinking.com. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there.
Actually at the bottom, it says you can schedule a free financial makeover. So it's free to you. You can get on my calendar. It's going to be like a free 20-minute consultation, and we'll discuss what's going on. You'll do a little form to tell me, like, what are you interested in? Maybe you're making money, but you just don't know how to save it. Maybe that's what we want to talk about. Maybe you're in some debt and you're trying to have some questions around, like, how do I manage this debt a little bit better, along with saving at the same time?
Right.
You may want protection. Maybe you're like, I need life insurance. I need protection. What's the best way of going? I'm licensed for California. And I know that this is going.
It's going everywhere. So, but we have people all over.
Yes, and so, but and if I can help you, and I can, even get you a product, I will definitely help you into that product. If I cannot, I would at least give you the education of what kind of product you need to be requesting from someone that's in your area. And so we'll do all of that. It'll be a 20-minute phone call, or it could be a 20-minute Zoom call. If you want to see my beautiful face in the moment, we can have a better interview with each other.
Exactly. Now, just to make sure I got the right web address, is it Doctor of Rethinking or the Doctor of Rethinking?
Doctor of Rethinking.
Okay, I got it. So we have it up on the screen. So if you're tuning in, it is www.drofrethinking.com. So that's Dr. DoctorOf RethinkIng.com. So
Yes.
is if you want to get in contact with Dr. Rosche Brown for just getting advice on how to get your thinking in line with your financial services. And I just wanted to ask too, I know that this is such good content. You've given us so many different tips. Now, by chance, do you go out and speak on any of these type of things, or do you speak as well? And is this the same link that people will contact you if they wanted to have you to come out and speak for them?
Yes. So definitely contact me on drofrethinking.com. That is definitely probably like the best level, to say like, oh, I'm looking for a speaker, and you can just go ahead and just write all that in there as well. I would still suggest even go to scheduling a free financial makeover. And what you can do is actually just kind of write what you're looking for, because you may want to feel me and understand a little bit more about my topics. But I do speak about finances. Of course, I talk about psychology and mental health as well. Sometimes I'm talking about the combination of the two, right? I integrate spirituality in any and everything that I do. If you're not extremely spiritual, it's okay. But to understand that truth is truth, right? And so if I give you a truth, you will be able to understand that truth, whether it came from the Bible or not, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely, that's the kind of like my one-stop shop area. You go there, you'll be able to get it very soon. Probably the next couple of days, I will definitely offer your listeners a free gift. You guys, matter of fact, whenever you guys hear it on the replay, you probably can go to it probably within the next couple of days. 7 days to empoweryou.com.
Okay, 7 days to empoweryou.com.
Empoweryou.com.
Awesome.
And so 7 days to empoweryou.com is going to give you a 7-day mini course that's going to help you elevate your mood, your mindset, and your money. Because that's what we need to do. We need to go through that process of getting our minds right. We need to get our food right. And then we can get our money right as well.
Get your money right. Get your money right. So again, if you're listening, you get your free financial makeover. And if you want to engage Dr. Rosche Brown for speaking and coming into your group, your church, your local organizations to talk about this and talk about it more, because financial literacy is important. Getting people engaged to prepare for their future is so important. And I believe that today we learned some very valuable lessons in just how to rethink about our money, how we need to renew our mind to how we handle money, what we do with money, and how important that is. So, Dr. Rosche, I just thank you so much. And before we leave, I just want to ask you to give some of the listeners maybe a tip in leadership about how they could be leaders as in their finances or with in the way that they think. So what a tip or two about how they can be leaders in their thinking? Because of course we try to make sure they get all the leadership empowerment they can out there.
Well, what popped into my head, and I really want to share this, is actually a scripture, but it says that a prudent person foresees danger and they take precaution.
Wow.
Right. While a simpleton goes blindly and they have to suffer the consequences. And I really just encourage people to be like the prudent person, be the person who knows that, any what ifs of life can happen, emergencies can happen. Therefore, we need to take precaution and we need to prepare for them. Don't be the simpleton who's going out, blindly just living it up. Like, oh my God, what just happened? You know what I mean? I didn't expect to be here. And now I have to suffer the consequences. And so that's kind of like my major tip is that, get a financial coach. If you don't know how to do it on your own, get a financial coach. Start somewhere. Even if you can start small, just start somewhere. A lot of times people say that they can't save. But there's two ways I believe that savings occur. On one hand, you can reduce your expenses. I call it the Buckingham-Empowerment model. I get self Starbucks.
Oh, hold on. We have some type of audio.
On my end, you can't hear me? What happened?
Okay. Now I can hear you. Go ahead and finish.
Okay. There's two ways that you can work with figuring out how to save. The one way that you're able to do it is deprive yourself. You can do some reducing expenses and not going out in certain ways. So not doing Starbucks or not, getting that sandwich every single day or that bag of chips at work, right? You can start there and just reduce some expenses. And I call that more the deprivation model. But then the second level is that you can live in the prosperity model. And the prosperity model is where you increase your cash flow. You have a lot of gifts. We all have, I call them your tags, talents, and gifts. We all have and gifts, the tags that you wear, right? And that tag, that gift, it looks good on you, right? And if that gift looks good on you, it will make room for you. It will increase cash flow inside of your life. As long as you understand what your gift is and you go out there and you don't get scared about it. And don't think, and when you think about it, like, who's going to miss out if you don't go out and tap into your gift? The person that's going to miss out, a lot of people be like, I'm going to miss out. No, baby. You're not going to miss out. What's going to happen is all those people who need everything that you got inside of you, that God gave you, they're going to miss out because you didn't choose to go out there and do and be and let your light shine. He gave you this light. Go let it shine.
Let it shine.
Be that leader in whatever you're doing. You can't be a leader in everything, but you can definitely be a leader in the gift that God gave you, right? And then, of course, be a good steward of your money. So then you're able to bless other people with your gift and be able to bless them with your finances. In due time.
So, awesome. And guys, we have had such a great show today in having Dr. Rosche Brown here with the doctor of rethinking and rethinking money. And Dr. Rosche, I just want to thank you so much for coming in and tuning in all the way from California and blessing our listeners and just sharing with them things on how they could be empowered in their money, how they could be empowered in the way that they think. And again, for people who want to get in contact with Dr. Rosche, you can contact her on the doctorofrethinking.com and make sure you connect with her. And again, I just want to, before we close, just thank all of the people who have contributed to this podcast and who are partners with us. As you can see, we are serious about making sure that leaders are empowered every single day and that they have the tools and resources that they need so that they can grow as leaders in a very contemporary and modern world. And our approach to things here on this podcast is completely unique because we know that people have unique changes and things that's going on. Be sure to connect with us on social media. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All of it's on with my name, Lorinda Buckingham. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at Lori, Lori_Buckingham. And as always, here's to your freedom, your balance, and your faith for success. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Rosche.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I was so excited to be a part of this.
No problem. All right, everyone. Take care.